Hey guys, what is up? Array Mage here doing another World of Tanks 360 gameplay commentary. Today guys, we're going to go ahead and continue on with perks and skills, and we're going to be covering Brothers in Arms. Brothers in Arms is a unique perk. I find it to be very helpful, and I'm going to go ahead and give a quick brief description, or just in my own words, how I could describe it best to somebody that's trying to select this, or deciding if they want to get this perk or not. And the best way I can describe it is it's pretty much like improved ventilation, having that hooked up on your tank. It basically will give you a 5% boost to all crew members in their associated skills. So in other words, it would be a 5% reload speed to your loader, for example. And all other skills, such as 5% to your driver, 5% to your commander, 5% to your radio operator. That's just pretty much what you can expect from Brothers in Arms. However, there is something unique to this, and I'm going to get to that here in a moment, but pretty much this is something you should consider. You should consider this if, for instance, if you're like me, I have on quite a few of my tanks, such as here on the M46 Patton. I'm not going to put improved ventilation on this tank, mostly because I think the medium caliber gun rammer, I think that's really standard on most of my tanks. I just want to have a quick reload speed as often as possible. I feel like it's very important for medium tanks that you have a high damage per minute, and you want to increase it as much and as often as you possibly can. So I tend to run the gun rammer, but of course you could run the improved ventilation, and that will help it even more. But I want to save that equipment slot for something like coated optics or a vertical stabilizer, in which case I'm going to have a vertical stabilizer, the gun rammer, and coated optics. So there I am with 3 slots going to be taken up. So it'd be kind of pointless for me to add it on here, especially if I feel like I'm giving out. Now you may be willing to give up on a vertical stabilizer, and you may not even care for that, but that's just my situation. So it's useful if you really don't want to commit to the equipment slot, and you don't want to add that onto your vehicle. You don't want to take improved ventilation, you just want to save yourself an equipment slot for something else. This is where Brothers in Arms is pretty helpful. However, there's something else that makes this perk even better, and I didn't really notice it until I actually did a little research, and I personally noticed it on my M46 Patton one day when I was playing. I noticed one day when I had been going back and forth, and on this particular day I was going back and forth between my E50M and my M46 Patton, and I was just having sort of those kind of games where you kept getting tracked by certain people. And I noticed from playing my M46 a lot that I was repairing very fast compared to my E50M crew. And I was sitting there thinking, they're both the same trained level. They're not, there's no major difference. And then I had to think, is there something I got on these tanks or with those crews that is attributing to the speed at which the M46 is repairing compared to the E50M? And I ended up doing a little research, and I found out Brothers in Arms can affect the common skills that you get through skills and perks when you're selecting them. So for instance, I go out and I select repairs, or I select firefighting or camouflage. You have Brothers in Arms hooked up and you have those skills fully trained, you will be better than an enemy crew that is 100% trained and has those same skills, because Brothers in Arms adds to that. So in other words, I'm repairing even faster now, not only because I have repairs hooked up on this crew, but because I have Brothers in Arms also. Now, this also opens up a lot more doors, and it's actually made me reconsider that when I go up the British medium tank line. I'm going to be testing this, but I'm going to even be trying to see, what kind of combinations, how big of a difference this combination of Brothers in Arms with, say, improved ventilation, how big of a difference is that going to make on the reload speed of tanks like, say, the Cromwell or the Centurion 7-1. It's really opened a lot more doors, and it's really made me think, this is a pretty good, invaluable perk to consider having on a crew. And I definitely suggest people Considering our crews can be trained a lot faster on the 360 compared to the PC, I definitely suggest at some point in time you may want to consider having this perk just because of how useful it is. It can make repairs even quicker. 5% better, obviously, across the board. Makes reload speed 5% better, so you take that in terms and you add it with the medium caliber gun rammer, you have an even quicker reload speed. It's one of those invaluable perks right now. I think it's very good. You know, you can't argue with a 5% performance increase across the board. It's very difficult to argue with that. And it's also very useful, as I was talking about earlier, if you don't want to commit to adding improved ventilation onto a tank, you just want to save that equipment slot for something else you think is going to be more important. Brothers in Arms is a good compromise. You can still get that performance boost across the board. And of course, if you like improved ventilation and you run it on all your tanks or you run it on certain vehicles, you may want to consider Brothers in Arms. I mean, as I was talking about, I think it would be outstanding on some vehicles, and it's really opened the door for me to really think about other options. And I'm definitely going to add this perk, and I'm going to definitely see how big of a difference it can make on the reload speed of a tank like a Centurion 7-1, for example, which has, I believe, the slowest reload speed amongst the Tier 9 mediums once it's fully upgraded. So it'll be interesting to see how big of a difference this makes. Alright guys, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.